eating out at a restaurant, the first thing you typically do is order a drink. When that drink comes, you are more than likely given a plastic straw. You normally do not think about where that straw might end up after you have finished, but unfortunately, most of these straws end up in the ocean. Many of these straws find their way into a sea turtle's nose or get eaten by other fish, seabirds, and other marine life. Americans use 500 million plastic straws every day. That is enough to fill 125 school buses a day. All of us in this room probably use at least one plastic straw a week. This is because plastic straws are pretty much available everywhere we go. They're easy to use at a restaurant, buy for a party, beach day, or just to have at home. Although many of us probably don't understand the negative effects of using plastic straws. They are harmful to the environment, marine wildlife, and even us people. Many organizations and businesses are taking many steps to try to stop the use of plastic straws. The evidence chosen has been written by credible authors and newspaper organizations. Today, I'm going to explain to you in depth of how plastic straws are harmful, why we shouldn't use them, and the alternatives you can use instead of using plastic straws. Now I'm going to show you my commercial advertising against plastic straws.
Drinking my smoothie. Is that a plastic straw you're using? Yes. You know how bad plastic straws really are? No. Well, there's about 4.4 billion plastic straws that end up in the ocean every single year, and a lot of those end up in the noses of sea turtles and in the bellies of seabirds. And by the year 2050, about 100% of seabirds will have ingested a plastic straw. That's too bad. Yeah, I know. So, when you go buy 100 flexible straws at Walmart the next time, make sure you take into consideration where they might end up. Here you go. All done. The main reason why plastic straws end up in the ocean is because many people throw them away. Because when you go to a restaurant like McDonald's or Burger King, typically they're in a plastic cup that you just throw away when you're done with them. So then that's why they end up in the ocean. But in reality, they should end up in the recycling so that they can be recycled. Plastic is not biodegradable, so that means that it doesn't break down into smaller pieces. So the next time you use a plastic straw, make sure you throw it in the recycling. Wow, I really didn't think of it like that. And there are alternatives to using plastic straws as well. You can either use reusable ones or you can use metal ones. Either one works, as long as they don't end up in the trash. So the next time you want to drink with a straw, pick a reusable one or a metal one. Thank you.
As you could see in my video, I explained a little bit in depth as to why you shouldn't use plastic straws, but now I'm going to get more into depth about the three main harms of plastic straws. Plastic straws are extremely harmful to wildlife, including sea turtles and seabirds. According to Devorah Leftup's article, hotels and tour operators are eliminating plastic straws. She found 1 million seabirds and 100,000 marine mammals are killed annually from plastic in our ocean. 44% of seabird species, 22% of whales and dolphin species, all sea turtle species, and a growing list of fish species have been documented with plastic in or around their bodies. Sea turtles are especially affected by plastic straws. Because plastic isn't biodegradable, it just sits in our oceans, waiting to be consumed by marine wildlife. In B.V. Tempo's article, Why Are Plastic Straws Bad? Advice from the Experts, its members stated, and globally, 100,000 marine mammals die as a result of plastic pollution every year. Plastic straws can even kill animals as big as whales. Christine Figener, a marine biologist, has done extensive research on how plastic straws are harmful to marine wildlife. In her article, What I Learned Pulling a Straw Out of a Turtle's Nose, she stated, while collecting data for my PhD off the coast of Costa Rica, my team decided to remove what looked to be a barnacle encrusted in the nostril of a turtle, which we had captured for a research study. The object turned out to be a 10-centimeter section of a disposable plastic drinking straw. Now I'm going to show you that video of Christine and her team pulling the straw out of the turtle. you can see in the video, the turtle was clearly in a lot of pain, and this is the reality for many of the sea turtles living in our oceans. When the wildlife becomes endangered, so does the environment, because living organisms are what help regulate it. When the oceans are not regulated, the climate and weather begin to change, which negatively impacts the environment. The second harm is plastic straws are very damaging to the environment. Most of the time, they end up in our oceans. Since plastic straws are not biodegradable, they just sit in our oceans like it is a wasteland. Plastic straws are not recycled well. In the Los Angeles Times article, "It's Time to Go Strawless," to cut the flow of plastic straws into the oceans, restaurants should give them out only on request. Its members stated, more than 3/4 of the plastic water bottles used by Californians are recycled, thanks to a state law that puts a bounty on each container. There's no similar payoff for turning over plastic straws, which are typically dumped in the trash along with the cup and lid they come with. Most plastic in the trash gets thrown into the oceans, and since plastic isn't biodegradable, it just sits in the ocean and never decomposes. Billions of straws are thrown away each year. Even sometimes recycling is not always good with plastic straws. In Devorah Lefkov's article, Dune Ives explains, unfortunately, most plastic straws are too lightweight to make it through mechanical recycling sorters, so they end up in landfills and waterways and eventually our oceans. But not only are plastic straws bad for marine wildlife and the environment, they are bad for humans too. The third harm is plastic straws can be damaging to people as well because they are made with chemicals that can affect women's hormone levels. In Vivi Tempo's article, it states, the straws are typically made using polypropylene, a type of plastic made from petroleum. And although the FDA has found this to be food safe, chemicals from the plastic could leach into liquids, releasing compounds which may affect estrogen levels. When a woman's estrogen levels are negatively affected, this can cause many problems such as fertility issues and pregnancy complications. Now I will show you my printout. So I drew this really cute little turtle. His name is Bobby, and right here he says, say no to plastic straws, and the reasons why are because they are harmful to him and marine life, to his environment, they aren't biodegradable, and they are just overall bad for our environment. Bobby really wants this message to get across so that you can save him and all his sea turtle friends. Now I'm going to compare plastic straws and reusable and metal straws. So for plastic straws, they're obviously harmful to the environment, harmful to marine life, harmful to humans, they're not biodegradable, and they're difficult to reuse and clean. I've already gone into depth with those, so I won't explain more. But then for reusable and metal straws, they're easy to clean, they're safe for humans, they're eco-friendly, they're cheaper overall, and they're better for wildlife. In Vivi Tempo's article, they stated, however, the good news is there are a number of alternatives to plastic straws. And when it comes to being truly sustainable, you can't go wrong with a paper straw. They take only 2 months to biodegrade, and they don't require any special technology or intervention to do so. They're also odorless, tasteless, and stay waterproof long enough for you to enjoy every last drop of your drink. Paper straws are the perfect replacement for businesses and consumers alike. Many businesses, restaurants, and organizations are using alternatives to plastic straws as well. In the Indianapolis Reporter's article, Starbucks, citing ocean threat, is ditching plastic straws, its members stated. A week after its hometown of Seattle banned plastic drinking straws and utensils, on July 9th, Starbucks said that by 2020, it will be using straws made from biodegradable materials like paper and specifically designed lids. Metal and reusable straws are good for at-home and everyday use because you don't need to throw them away at all. There are many alternatives to using plastic straws. All in all, I have explained to you why you should not use plastic straws and the main harms to using them. They're harmful to marine wildlife, the environment, and to humans. I've also explained to you the alternatives of using plastic straws. Even though there have been a lot done to get rid of the usage of plastic straws, there still is a lot more measures that need to be taken. I hope that I have convinced you not to use plastic straws, but if you do, to dispose of them properly. We can be the positive change to this issue. Thank you for listening to my speech.